first came out, it was like him and Hundor playing it, and he was the only one who was like nearly half as effective as Hundor.
It's going to be
Okay.
Catherine.
That's very interesting.
That is interesting. Talk to me about why you might see a Catherine here.
There is a lot of AoE to come out with a Crystal Kestrel. The Glimmer shots have that AoE damage at the tail end. Baron obviously doing a lot of AoE, so if that Stormguard bubble can actually reflect a lot of damage that way. You also have those on-demand stuns coming out pretty frequently, so I could see it working here, especially with just the
step up to the highest level of play and just dominate. Definitely coming up strong here. It's going to be a bit of an invade for Gankstars, but Cloud9 are just going to disengage it immediately, which means that Xenotech is still some of these camps away.
Last time Xeno played Kestrel was week 2 up against Immortals. They won the game with a Ringo Kestrel Lyra. We'll have to see if Baron Kestrel Lance can do the same thing. Petal is certainly getting a lot of playtime today, though, and we've already seen things like Von C, utter domination with it. So there's a tall order on both sides here, Dowsy.
Certainly is, and you know, Joseph, a little bit of criticism towards him, maybe not playing to the level that you expect him to play to, so a bit of pressure on him to really show up in this series, and definitely a hard series to show up in. You know, this is the rematch of the semi-finals of last week, you know, Gankstars versus Cloud9 in those semi-finals, and Cloud9 were able to take it 2-0 in fairly dominant fashion, so I kind of feel like for Gankstars it's retribution on the line here. They definitely do not want to lose out in the quarterfinals of a week, because that just really hurts their standings.
Yeah, and it's the last week to get the points, right? If you want to try to catch TSM, these are kind of the teams that have those shots at doing it. And TSM, as we know, is already into 2-0 tomorrow. We'll have to see how many more points they can accrue. But if you want to catch the tail of the dragon, this is your only week to do it. Now, that being said, guaranteed these guys not going down to challengers. This is all for positioning, but you know, if you're first, you're going to get a heck of a boost going into Split 2.
Definitely are. It just helps you out so much as far as those standings are concerned. We're going to see Joseph all by himself trying to contest this Elder Tree. And actually, Cloud9 are bringing down both Gabe Bizzle and Old School, which means Araki has to come as well. Araki on this Baron, possibly not really the early game, you know, threat that a late game Baron can be. So you kind of have to feel that maybe Cloud9 have the advantage if a team fight breaks out, but right now both teams are dancing. Here we go, it's a stun onto Araki's aura. They're going for this kill here. Re-engage comes out, but Rekt misses the impale, dodged up. Old School taking so much damage! Does about get away for now, but now it's Joseph in trouble. He's going to have to try and trampoline to safety, and trampoline he does. Gankstars, all on the power of this Kestrel. Xenotech just doing the work. Now they're getting that map dominance that they need.
So first picking Petal, not entirely too sure I would have seen that coming, but at the same time, I think that Gankstars have really set themselves up for having a bit of an easier time up against the Petal. In the past, we saw a lot of focus on trying to kill her herself, but now between you know, CP Kestrel and the area of effect that Araki, who's under trouble here, can bring, that's going to be a lot of just passive ways to deal with the Munyon horde that they're going to have to kind of also just, you know, suffer through the entire match.
Definitely, I feel like Petal into Kestrel in certain aspects can be good. You know, the Munyons kind of block a bit of the damage that comes out from those limit shots, as you can see here, you know, just blocking them up. But it also means that those Munyons die very quickly as well.
Yep.
And so Joseph won't be having as high of a damage output as necessarily wanted in a fight.
Give and take. That's all this is. But Araki has, you know, again, a lot of AoE built into his kit there, and Xeno is, hey, if you kill out the Munyons and Petal has to stop in the fight, put them down, you gotta wait for them to hatch. That could be the difference between even just an internal combustion or not, right? If you don't have those Munyons, you can't pull off that ult.
No, definitely not at all. So, you know, that's give and take, as you say, and, you know, not only is that ult important for the damage, but it heals your team if you're standing inside it, so there's healing there as well, which can just help you sustain through a fight. Gabe is going to block up Rekt here. The impale dodged out by Gabe. Nice stuff, and once more, it's aggression thwarted here. Cloud9, they're going to go down to the shop. Gankstars have just made their shopping trip, actually in a position where they might be able to catch out Cloud9. We'll have to see if Cloud9 walks straight into the bush base, checks it up.
Yeah, they won't.
Now know flares are there, so yeah, they won't go for it.
Well, they won't face check it. They'll still go through it, but there's not a lot of danger right there, right? There was no surprise. It's not like Gankstars were just hiding there. They were actively farming. They're actively just kind of sitting there in that player. So it's totally fine. The problem is, though, that Cloud9 did just buy. So even if Gankstars were looking for a fight, it's in a 3v3. Like, we just hit the first item there on Old School. So we also have, you see, Fusion on I Love Joseph. He's not quite sporting it yet, but it's in that inventory. Like, if push came to shove, better power spike was kind of just sitting there, ready to roll for Cloud9.
Yeah, certainly. They're ready for the fight. It's going to be Joseph. Tested, that Treant goes Araki Zoro's way. Gankstars just putting so much pressure down onto Cloud9. And it's incredible when you consider that they have a Baron on their team, not usually a hero you see on the forefront of aggression in the early game. Look at that. Gabe Vizzle goes back, completes the fountain, gets a minion candy. It leaves Old School in the lane just to try and clear out these creeps. And that turret's taking so much damage. The Glimmer Shots just do so much work. Gankstars will take that down to a third of HP, and now Old School's taking a bit of a beating. There's the one shot. It's going to connect onto Old School as well. Can't Sonic Zoom away from that one. Now Xenotech's looking for blood. Does run out of energy. So it does mean that Gankstars have to fall back, but I'm loving this play so far.
So far, so good for Gankstars, and at the same time, it's not like it's all bad for Cloud9. They're still neck and neck in gold. They haven't really given up any kind of jungle advantage. They are consistently spending out their money in good intervals, but when it comes to that first turret, yeah, they are definitely falling short on that mark. So, Wreck, Fountain, no problem. Zoro here, he's going to be able to pick up that Sorrow Blade, and so we're good on that. And Xeno, he has the cash. Like, by the time he's done this farming route, we're probably going to see a Shatterglass.
Yeah, no, almost certainly going to see a Shatterglass out from him very shortly. I expect he's going down to buy it right now. You see that pop up on the right side of our screens. There it is. And a Scout Trap as well. Bit of vision for Xenotech.
Now, see where he put it? That little one spot? You'd be surprised how often pathing just doesn't hit that spot. Like, you exclaimed a little bit earlier on in the different games, just like that trap right there, so much value, how do you not walk on it? It's just not a very commonly walked on place, so that's a really good spot for it.
Yeah, no, it certainly was. Provided so much value to Immortals it was. But here we go, an engage coming out of Cloud9 as they're going straight on in, straight into the Glimmer Shots, unfortunately. The Iron Cannon will disengage the fight for now. Let's see if Cloud9 want to re-engage it here. Old School, he's used his ultimate. Gabe Vizzle hasn't quite got that blast tremor yet, so it is going to be Cloud9 just holding on to their breaths for now. Xenotech, he's pushing on up with Wrecked. If they can land an Impale, that's so much damage that will come forward. Just landing those abilities. Here comes Gabe Vizzle. Has to fall back. The active camo threat doesn't want to take the damage from it. That's going to be the fight. Just disengage. Both teams going to go to their jungle, start farming up again.
This would have been very different if Wrecked had actually used the Githian wall and got the stun from knocking that captain into the wall. Unfortunately, it kind of came out a little short, but by then Araki Zoro had already kind of committed to it. He threw down that Ion Cannon. That's why it kind of just sort of showed up randomly out of nowhere, not targeting anybody, because they were really looking for that stun, but just like one pixel too short, but that's all you need. So could have been very different, but again, everybody's just going to hold on. We have rebuffed a lot of that pressure up in that lane, though. You notice, like Cloud9, they're no longer really having to deal with hot shots at their turret.
That damage. Gabe Vizzle will block up the one shot, so it means Old School's safe, but he is forced to go back to base. Xenotech, man, just laying down so much hurt.
I Love Joseph's been holding on to that infusion a long time, but he has also not gotten into himself that reflex block. We have that Frostburn on top of him as well. Like, the utility part of this is ready to go, and as soon as a fight pops, he's going to hit that infusion. In fact, he's the only one, I think, actually rocking it still.
Yeah, no, the only one who has it in their inventory. I can't see any infusions across the board. No one's rolling in them. Maybe we see some people infusing up as we hit that 9-minute mark. A lot of teams like to get them around level 7, level 6 for that first fight, but at the moment, no. Joseph,
there we go.
We'll walk over the Scout Trap, and Atlas Pauldron picked up now for Gabe Vizzle as they clear out all the vision. Cloud9 actually cleared out 3 Scout Traps. They knew exactly where they were positioned, just went and cleared them all.
So early game, not quite up the sleeve of either of these guys, but, you know, Araki Zoro, the longer this game goes on, the easier of a time he is going to have by the end game. That's why Gabe Vizzle now into Atlas Pauldron. No Crucible here. Honestly, not really a big call for a Crucible, I feel. Araki doesn't really have any kind of crowd control. Wrecked, I feel, just with positioning, you're going to be okay. Just use the reflexes there for your carry. So Gabe into the armor, doesn't actually Stormguard that. So you can see the power of the CP Kestrel as we're looking into a second item sometime down the line here for Xenotech. But He also has himself an infusion now in inventory. Araki Zoro, if he picks up this jungle farm, he's going to have one there as well. We could start seeing fights.
Definitely could. Let's see what happens. It's going to be
Lots
the
of
infusions
infusions.
purchased up. And it's that first Tyrant's monocle as well for Old School as he goes down that classical breaking point. Double Tyrants. Now, this is patch 2.2 for those wondering. We haven't quite got over to 2.3. The update only came out this week, so it wouldn't be fair to force the players to play on something they haven't prepared for. We will have, I believe, 2.3 for the challenge battles next week, and then, of course, the first game of Split following that will be on 2.3. But we are playing Tournament Realm. That's why you're seeing some of the standard builds that we've seen all throughout Split. You know, those attack speed changes haven't quite hit the Halcyon Fold here in competitive play.
Well, Xenotech's going to get a nice angle for the for at least some of the shots there.
Oh, they're going in. Rector's taking a bit of damage, but look at Xenotech. Joseph laying down the hurt. Now he has to fall back. He's healing up a little bit with the spontaneous combustions. Old School takes a bigger chunk of crit from Araki Zoro. Gankstars just maintaining such a tempo advantage over Cloud9 in all these fights, and actually Gabe Fizzle is going aggressive. Storm, you know, the bubble goes out just to try and block any damage that comes out, but now Araki Zoro going to just lay down the hurt. Glimmer shots, the turret falls down, and they're looking for the engage onto Gabe Fizzle. Joseph, he's low, but it's going to be Gabe Fizzle, the one they're targeting at the moment. Old School rounds the corner, is going to try and lay down some hurt. The Fountain comes out, Cloud9 looking to try and re-engage, but can they do it is the question. It doesn't look likely. Araki Zoro going low, Old School against the wall, finds one. First blood his way, trades back, and the one shot from Xenotech going to find Joseph as well. Great stuff from Gankstars to take control of that fight and come out on top.
It looked like Old School kind of pieced out of that fight. As soon as that turret was down, he was kind of where Rect is standing right now. And then Gabe Fizzle was peeling up top. Petal was not really in fighting form, but I want to say it was Old School that said, all right, let's do this. And then he went in. Yes, he got the kill on top of Araki Zoro, but at the end of it all, they were just too battered from the poke, right? Araki Zoro has a lot of poke with that weapon, and you see the glimmer shots just kind of coming out innumerable at this point there from Xenotech, and that last route from Rect was what allowed Xenotech to pick up the second kill, because there was a route into that one shot. I Love Joseph had nowhere to go, and he was grounded at the same time. So 2 for 1, finally a little bit more of that stalemate broken, but the bigger thing is, again, Gankstars got the objective, Dowsy, and that's why they're starting to pull ahead in gold.
Yeah, no, they've got that turret, that one-shot lands onto
Old
School. That's going to be Cloud9 having to fall back before a fight even begins. It opens up the map. That gold mine is fully charged if Gankstars want to go and try and contest for it. They are looking like they're going to fall back and maybe even start that one up. Early poke onto Old School. He's starting to heal it up, but it just gives Gankstars the room, the space to start things up. And now, actually, they're trying to bait Cloud9 into a fight. Gabe Fizzle the target, the Iron Cannon, gonna split them up. No, it's gonna land on everyone. And now Araki Zoro is just critting all over everyone. There's the Glimmer shots. Cloud9 in trouble as Gabe Fizzle falls. And they're going to look for more. Who they're going to target? It does look like they are going to go for Gabe Fizzle. Glimmer shot lands, and it just leaves Joseph. One shot, he walks into it. He blocks it up, but he's up against the wall. And Rect will be able to finish the ace there for Gankstars. These guys are just dominant right now.
Bad time to turn around and say, okay, let's do this, because Gabe Fizzle turned and he went for the Blast Trevor, and that was when the Ion Cannon was also just right over top of them right there. So Raki's are very happy with that. You saw the crits come out, because again, you're starting to see more of these monocles. Don't quite have a monocle there for Iraqi, but that's going to go change now that we've put an ace, a sentry, and a turret back into their bank. But Old School, unfortunately, just not finding the same impact that Zoro had right there, because that's might not be a kill, but that's 4 assists to Araki Zoro from these fights.
Yeah, I think he needs just 100 more gold, and probably have it now that he takes down these doubles here. Actually, no, force back. Gabe Fizzle putting the aggression on, so he's going to take his own. One shot will land onto Gabe Fizzle, not going to be blocked up, and actually Rect goes aggressive. The glimmer shots from Xenotech just to try and push Cloud9 away from the middle of the map. 14 minutes. Looking like they might try and take the gold miner before the Kraken spawns. We do see that double tyrant's completed now for Old School. He's got himself a new infusion, level 11 on the board. Gold miner, though, is going to fall. Iron Cannon, it zones everyone away. I think gold miner should go out, but here comes Cloud9. Are they going to find an engage? Gabe Fizzle's trying to find Xenotech. Oh, good silence comes out of Old School. That Xenotech blasted down, and now they're going to turn the fight. That's a double for Cloud9, and they're looking for Rect as well. This land can dip and dive all across the map. We'll have to see if Cloud9 do try to find the kill, try and find the ace. 18 seconds on Xenotech. Naturally, that's going to be Rect going to recall.
Like, if they chase him all the way to here, he just rolls over. Yeah, it's like you're not gonna get that ace. You might kill him eventually, but there's better things to do. Like, don't go for the kill, go for the objective, and that's what we're gonna do. So we kind of stayed a little bit too long. I didn't expect Gankstars to kind of posture forward looking for the kill right there, but at the same time, that's kind of what they did, and they paid for it, right? Xenotech on that front line, silence, stun, crit, done. Rakizoro, crit, done. Old School and double monocle, showing a lot of power right there with that pickup, and then they were able to pick up a turret on top of that. So gold, still 1,000, called a little bit more between the teams, but Old School and crew just got a lot of cash infusion, and you can see he has an Aegis on top of that now as well. Gabe Bizzle's looking for his next item, and I love Joseph. He has a good amount of power, but he's also starting that defense up here as well.
Well, this time, we are going to see that ability come out. Gabe Bizzle able to block most of the damage. Xenotech actually purchased up a reflex block after that fight to try and avoid being stunned and locked down like this. Here comes Cloud9, looking for the gates. Blast Tremor going to silence up 2, and now they look for the damage onto Araki. Wreck going to go low. Araki able to dive away, and here comes the Ion Cannon. Not going to do enough. It's only Xenotech left alive as Cloud9 looking to push forward. The active camo makes things hard for Gabe Bizzle. So Cloud9 are forced to just fall back. That one shot won't connect with anything. It was a bit of a pot luck. Now Cloud9 looking to start up this Kraken. Xenotech has the ability to try and steal it away. He is actually going to get in position for this as well. Hasn't been spotted up yet. They don't have the scout traps in position to spot him if he goes into the active camo, so they're just pulling it away as far as possible. It looks like that Kraken shall go Cloud9's way.
And Kraken pretty free and clear, so Gangstar is going to be on the defensive from here. But at the same time, just kind of looking at the level of power that we have available to him. Old School getting off that silence right there. It was not blocked up. Wrecked and the Crucible just kind of failing the team a little bit right there. And as soon as that silence hit, they started making a beeline for a retreat. But that was also a huge chunk of Wrecked gone by the time the silence was done. And then Araki left into a 2v1 situation. At the same time, Xeno had split. So we didn't really have a big consolidation of power from these guys, but that might have actually been the boon of not getting that ace simply because he was just sort of away from the death zone at that point. So with this defense coming in with this Kraken, 2 turrets, and push a little bit more, if Cloud9 take any kills, could be more than 2, but it's going down fast now.
Yeah, the Kraken is going down. The Iron Cannon, the active camos, everything just zones Cloud9 away from the Kraken, which means the choke will be protected. But unfortunately for the Crystal Sentry, as so often, he will lose his life. Thankfully, it's only his first, so Crystal Sentry does get to come back to work tomorrow and see what happens. But at the moment, Cloud9, they're starting to scale up. They're starting to feel confident in their ability to take fights. And the Gankstars show that we've seen so far, well, starting to see a little bit more competition. Though, let us not forget, we've got a Baron on Arakizoro, and he's almost hit that double Tyrant's monocle point. He's got his breaking point, he's got his Sorrow Blade, he's got his first, he's just working towards that second.
Well, as back and forth as the game has gone, Old School is the clear leader when it comes between him and Araki. He has that full item build. He's almost actually 6 item at this point. Like, the boot's fine, but he has the double monocle, right? He has that extra kind of defense. We don't have any armor, for example, here on top of Araki, right? Vox gets on top of him, that's no armor, right? And Aegis is not going to be near enough to reduce what Old School can do to you. It's not the same the other way around.
They're coming for a flank here, trying to find Gankstars, catch them out. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Gankstars are able to find their way out of this one, and the active camo traps makes things very hard for Cloud9. But now Cloud9 can just try and charge straight for this choke point turret.
Yep,
Gankstars,
exactly.
There's not much they can do about it. They're going to come from behind Cloud9, setting up the vision so that they don't get caught out by this. But it means the fight may just be started. Gabe Bizzle in the bush. He's ready. He's waiting. There's the Blast Tremor onto both Xenotech. They're going to silence him up, stun him on up. Now they're looking for the kill. Xenotech able to build some distance, and they're going to zone away here, Gankstars. But can they find anything? Wrecked, not able to land the Impale. Cloud9 able to disperse, and now they're on the run here. Looks like it's Gankstars who want the fight as Old School taking a bit of crit damage. Gabe Bizzle tanking everything up. Wrecked on the front line. The wait for it comes out. It silence up Wrecked. It means he has the fountain. It does come out in eventually, and now Old School forced to go back. One shot going to land onto Joseph. Good snipe comes forward. Araki, he's doing the work. About to get his reset on his rocket jump. No, Old School. Will he fall? Yes, he will. The crit comes forward from Arakizoro. And this fight from Cloud9 was just too drawn out. Now they're in trouble. Here comes the Kestrel. Here comes Wrecked. Will they be able to find any more is the question. Arakizoro, very low on energy. They're just going to turn face towards this Kraken.
They missed the combo. Gabe Bizzle saw him coming, went north, turned, looked for a Blast Tremor, only hit 2. He didn't hit wrecked. And the double silence comp from Cloud9 really does kind of depend on these silences hitting, because you hit one silence and then they can't actually stop you from the second silence, right? So with the first one missing out on that, we were able to reset position. Xenotech did not die. They ducked down towards the Crystal Sentry. Over the wall went Iraqi Zoro. And then when they got their bearings, they pushed forward. The second silence did much better, but it did not defeat that fountain from wrecked. It had been just a sliver of a fraction of a second earlier, might have been a different story. But Gankstars, they're okay. They're doing all right.
About one shot will land. No, it won't. Okay, just about escapes. Gabe Bizzle will be able to start healing that up with the Life Spring passive on the fountain. Will Cloud9 look for an engage? The question. Infusions are there. Everyone's ready for this fight. Gabe Bizzle is taking huge chunks of poke. Makes things hard for Cloud9 to engage. This Baron almost there. Ready. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's just got that lucky foot. Not quite at that double Tyrant's Monocle point just yet. But it is a 4-item offensive Baron. One shot onto Gabe. Makes things very hard. Now Cloud9, they can't engage this fight. They have
Gabe
to...
is the engage.
Yeah.
Gabe engaged. That's all he got to say, and he goes. But you can't do it when you're that low.
Yep. So recall, back to base, start to heal up. Gankstars looking for some vision. Looks like they're going to take away this Crystal Sentry here. Just gives them a bit of breathing room if they want to battle in Cloud9's jungle. But look at Cloud9, they're coming around the corner. They're going to be spotted by this flare, but they're looking for the engage. They're looking to go in. The Iron Cannon, it's going to land onto Old School, but Gabe Bizzle still looking for engage. Blast Tremor, it doesn't quite connect, but Iraqi Zoro will fall down. And that's going to be the main damage output out already. Here comes that one shot. It connects onto Joseph. Kraken will be disengaged for now by Cloud9 as some armor purchased by Old School. Just enough. Gonna start healing up, use those spontaneous combustions for the health. They're looking for another fight here, Cloud9. They want to try and catch someone out, but Glimmer shots from Xenotech, they hurt, and he's gonna have that one shot up in just a second.
I think Gankstars panicked right there. Like, they started that sentry, and the sentry had literally one hit. You sneeze on it, it's dead. But they opted to kind of continue fighting it. Then they tried to split, and Iraqi Zoro over the wall just put himself on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage right there, Dowsy.
Ooh, Blast Tremor lands onto Xenotech here. Is he going to be in trouble? Reflex block, and he's not going to be able to go in Viz. That will be the Kraken secured by Cloud9 from the Blast Tremor of Gabe Bizzle. Game on its knife edge. We only promised you the best when it comes to these two teams. Obviously, Cloud9 currently sitting in 4th position on the standings. Gankstars up in 2nd. These guys are really, really battling it out to make it to say 2.
Alright, so, if you look at Old School, another infusion, 5 straight items. He doesn't quite have the tier 3 boots, but again, I'm not really going to hold that against him at this point. He is just so much farther ahead. His CS, farther ahead. More kills. The team by itself, more kills. Another Kraken coming down. That's less objectives on the map for Gankstars. Iraqi Zoro just unfortunately is just too far behind. That Zoro Blade start for him is, what you need to do, but it puts you behind for the double crit, and it's kind of like just the Old School show right now.
Well, let's see what happens here. It's going to be this last hurrah from Gankstars. They need to stop this push. Joseph taking a bit of damage. Old School, he's rooted. He's going to survive. There's the silence coming out. He's looking to return the damage, and Xenotech's landing the Glimmer shots, but can they land any more? This turret going very low. Old School as well. He gets bursted. The crit, 360, but he's still alive somehow. Joseph still alive as well, but wrecked coming in, and Xenotech landing those Glimmer shots. There's the kill going over, but is it enough to stop Gabe Bizzle from taking the game? Old School trying to get in position, trying to hit that Vein Crystal, and he is going to find it with one last swing of the Kraken. Cloud9 take game 1.